Welcome to UCLA and to Royce Hall. I'm Kelly Wall, Assistant Dean for Student Achievement in the College of Letters and Science. Thank you so much for coming together during these unprecedented times to celebrate our graduates from the class of 2020. We are honoring the achievements of the bachelor's and master's degree recipients from the College of Letters and Science, the UCLA International Institute, the Samueli School of Engineering, the Herb Alpert School of Music, the School of Nursing, and the School of Theater, Film, and Television. Before we begin, the leadership of these ceremonies at UCLA acknowledges our presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Gabrielino Tongva peoples. I want to remind everyone how much we want this event to be a success. For that to happen, we must observe several safety precautions. I can see that wherever possible, you are seated at a distance from people outside your household. Very good. I can see that everyone is wearing a mask correctly, with it covering both their nose and mouth. Avoid making any loud sounds that would ordinarily come out of your mouth or nose. We weren't allowed to include singing as part of this event because of COVID rules, so please keep in mind why. Most important of all, I ask you to think about how proud you are of your graduate here with us today, and how much that graduate wants you healthy and safe and a part of their life for a very long time. So please, sit apart from each other, keep your mask on, and avoid yelling, singing, or potentially hazardous sound making. Clapping, however, is strongly encouraged. Please turn off your cell phones at this time, or at least be sure they are on vibrate. We encourage you to take photos or videos from your seats. Please do not stand in the aisles because we cannot block them during the ceremony. Family and friends of our graduates, I am very proud to present the class of 2020. It is my pleasure to introduce Associate Vice Provost Adrian Levine.
Welcome, welcome, families, friends, faculty, and staff who have come together to celebrate. I am honored to address these outstanding graduates of the class of 2020. I want you to know how proud I am as the Associate Vice Provost for the Teaching Center here at UCLA to be here at this recognition of your achievement. Your victories are our community's victories, and they haven't come easily. Such accomplishments are the product of time and energy, dedication and passion. What you committed to your education brought you to this extraordinary moment, and I am grateful to be able to share it with you. You are graduates from the #1 public university in the country, and your arrival at this moment is an inspiration. Our audience today is full of your fans, and trust me, this won't be the last time you hear a round of applause because you've done something extraordinary. In the years ahead, you will undoubtedly be among those cheering for others too. Take this moment of joy as an antidote to the challenges of life. Each one of us knows what it's like to feel alone in the silence of doubt when we need to hear the sound of encouragement. I see each of you in the future remembering to support those among us who need to be lifted up by the power of your kind words of praise, and perhaps in a moment when you least feel you have them to give. So let this day serve as a reminder of how we have the power to summon our collective strength to raise everyone higher. You will act on the impulse to enrich the lives of those around you. Be an agent for positive change. Make this world a better place. We need you to make this world better. Take pride in your lifelong journey of lifting, for when we reach out to others, our hearts become stronger by becoming more open and compassionate. Now, as much as we might want everything to work out perfectly, there will be times when an obstacle blocks our path. Something, perhaps the strangest person or idea or thing, will obstruct your progress towards an important goal. It's part of life. You've experienced this situation before. Remember, you overcame the challenges of learning remotely at UCLA. And who saw that coming? You persisted when facing the distractions of home life and choppy internet connections for your Zoom classroom. The truth is, your attitude about the situation was inspiring. When we surveyed you about our sudden encounter with remote learning, you were remarkably positive about the responsiveness of your instructors. You offered kind words for their effort, and you demonstrated a compassion that our faculty remains grateful for, especially when we remember how difficult it was for everyone. The tenacity you showed during those circumstances makes me confident in your ability to persevere no matter what happens. You will be able to step back if you need to and reflect on your values, on what matters the most. You'll consider why you persisted and why you are here today. And this knowledge and these skills you developed at UCLA will empower you to soar in the months and years ahead. You will create something new, something that hasn't been seen or heard before, and there will be positive change and hope. I'm confident of that. I ask you to lead the transformation that our world needs by becoming mentors. Mentorship is a generosity of spirit that brings everyone forward, both those who receive it and those who offer it to others. Be the mentors we need in our community, the mentors who build bridges for, rather than build walls against, those who may be struggling to cross over. We give ourselves a precious reward when providing advice and support as valued mentors, and let me tell you, it feels great. Never be shy about turning to someone who has gone ahead and made it back, someone who can tell you what might be just beyond the horizon, because even mentors need mentors. I'm grateful for all the professors, advisors, staff, fellow students, family, and friends who brought each of us here today because we needed them on our journey. Let's just pause for a moment and thank those people, both the ones who are with us today and also the ones who are not. Let us revel in joy and gratitude. After leaving UCLA, look for the people in your life who help to make you a better version of yourself. Surround yourself with the people who persuade you not to linger in self-doubt. The mentors, colleagues, and friends you seek in the years to come will help you remember who you are and inspire you to be who you want to be. This moment we share right now fulfills your hours of sacrifice. Well, it was more than hours, you know, I know, when it would have been easier not to push yourself so hard. It is the evidence that you have completed the most difficult courses you needed to take, and in the end, nothing defeated you. You belong at UCLA, and you make UCLA an acclaimed institution because of your strength, your voice, your intelligence, and your determination to succeed. Once this day has passed, I ask you to imagine it every now and then. Savor this moment, this stage, the seat you're in, the mask you wear, the beautiful people with us today, in both body and spirit, the people who love you. Please carry this moment with you and touch on it in your mind and in your heart when you need it the most. Give yourself the chance to live in this moment again completely. May this moment give you strength when you need it the most. Today is a life story highlight, and I ask each of you to share your personal narrative with those who need to hear from you. Practice a genuine compassion for yourself, and at the same time, extend that compassion to a world that might not entirely understand you or your story. Be patient about that. Know that those who offer the most are often misunderstood because the gifts they bear defy the odds. Know that whatever you are doing, wherever you are, the people around you will be inspired by you to grow and to change, and they will recognize you because of who you are and all that you have gained from your experiences as a Bruin. Every day ahead of you might not be perfect. However, enough of them will be as perfect as they need to be because each one comes with the promise of a tomorrow. And I'm confident that you will make our tomorrow remarkable. I celebrate with great joy the opportunity to share this moment with you. And so, class of 2020, congratulations and go Bruins. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce a member of the class of 2020, Clara Wen. Clara graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Asian American Studies and a Bachelor of Science in Human Biology and Society, magna cum laude with departmental honors and a Chancellor's Service Award. Please welcome Clara.
Okay. How's my hair? Okay. 4 letters. They always remind me of what being a true Bruin is. I can feel an 8 clap stirring up inside of me whenever I think of it. The memories of late night at Deneuve or late nights at Powell, the 8 a.m. finals we barely woke up for, the student organizations that we poured our hearts and souls into. Yes, you're right, 4 letters, home. My name is Clara Wen, and I want to welcome all of you, friends, family, faculty, staff, students, and most of all, Bruins and honorary Bruins to our home. Before I'm truly able to do this, however, I want to acknowledge that this land was home to Indigenous peoples far before UCLA was built upon it. Please join me in paying respect to the Tongva peoples, traditional land caretakers of the Tavangar encompassing the Los Angeles Basin. This home was not always easy to be at. In fact, it was complex and complicated. While it carries for many of us incredible memories that we will take with us for many years to come, it also came with difficult realizations and life lessons. Home became a test of resilience throughout our years. The definition of a home in itself became messy when we were faced with a blatant housing disparity in Los Angeles, where many of our neighbors were without a roof. We tried to understand how to actually be zero waste by 2020, when the world was burning around us and climate change became more urgent with each passing day. We had to, and actively still are, confronting the realities of systemic racism and police brutality and how to support marginalized and under-resourced communities. We had to balance tragedies and grief and figuring out what identities were in the context of the society that we were forced to fit into. Home was moments of heartbreak and healing as we sought for a definition of who we were and who we are. Home might have been synonymous with falling in love, with someone, with a concept, with education even. Love never really stayed the same, and sometimes the breakups were so rough, we ended up at Rocco's Tavern or Fat Sal's on those long late nights. Maybe home is passing by friends you've not seen all quarter on Bruin Walk and taking a flyer just because you know how painful it is to stand there yelling, pre-med, pre-health, all over again. Home could have been the culture nights right here in Royce Hall, the endless picnics and hammocking on the grass, the classic triple and roommates you spent way too many hours with. Maybe it was dancing in parking lots or the Gene Block memes on Facebook. However we arrived there, we all came from different places before arriving home. For some, it meant realizing that being underrepresented would make navigating higher education so much more challenging. It meant finding ways to advocate for yourself when institutional barriers continued to get in the way. For others, it meant a chosen family. It meant a type of safety and security that was not necessarily a birthright, but was something intentionally built. For me, I'm the product of immigrants, of Vietnamese refugee boat people who made it their dream to get me here. The journey to this point, to commencement, was often filled with expectations to make our families proud, expectations that made us more stressed than we ever could have imagined. But like some of you, it was the people around me, my communities, that helped raise me back up. To my parents' sacrifices, I'm forever grateful. Because if not for their resilience that I modeled mine after, I would never have been able to understand how to bounce back when all I wanted to do was give up. For that, our loved ones, we owe these past years to you, and perhaps an even bigger congratulations for getting us here. Perhaps the most difficult part about leaving this home, at least for me, is the not knowing. Not knowing when I'll be able to see the people I so cherish these 4 years again. Not knowing what is next when I feel like I'm very much still under construction, just like the rest of the school, all of the time. Then I'm reminded of these communities again. I recognize the barriers we face, the pain and grieving we encountered over the last year and a half, and how amidst all of that, we have the privilege to celebrate our accomplishments and growth with our communities. The giants whose shoulders we stand upon every single day. The ones that made this place truly feel like home. Yes, you're right. 4 letters, UCLA, home. And maybe I'm being optimistic, but then again, it is that optimism that I believe will make UCLA better. Such as with everything, with anything we love, we must feel comfortable being critical of it. We must dedicate ourselves now as alumni to continue making places like UCLA more equitable, more just, better. Our original graduation was meant to be the celebration of a century of UCLA, training students to be activists, community members, and change makers. For the next 100 years, I hope that UCLA will be a place we can all come back home to, a place for us to keep our memories and legacies. So wherever, whomever, whatever you come from, I hope you can see this as a form of home. I'm so lucky for the 4 years that I lived in it. Who knows, you might come back home sooner than you think. I know I didn't expect to have the honor of being a double Bruin so soon. A big shout out to the David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA and Prime LA's 14th cohort. That's 4+ more years for me. Go Bruins. Leave it to UCLA to give me a white coat before a graduation. I'm thankful and grateful to the people and spaces that were part of this journey with me. And at least for me, I'm glad that it will take only 1 8 clap to bring me back. Thank you.
Thank you, Clara, for those powerful words. When you became Bruins, one of your rites of passage was to uphold our true Bruin values of respect, accountability, integrity, service, and excellence. As alumni, you are Bruins for life, and you remain an important part of our extended community. I now want to share with you UCLA's Principles of Community, which are published with our mission statement. I will read several of these principles to you, then I will ask you to make a pledge with me to uphold them as you join other communities around us, communities that will find their greatest success because you, as a Bruin, are a part of them. I quote, "We believe that diversity is critical to maintaining excellence in all of our endeavors. We seek to foster open-mindedness, understanding, compassion, and inclusiveness among individuals and groups. We are committed to ensuring freedom of expression and dialogue in a respectful and civil manner on the spectrum of views held by our varied and diverse campus communities. We acknowledge that modern societies carry historical and divisive biases, and we seek to promote awareness and understanding through education and research and to mediate and resolve conflicts that arise from these biases in our communities. Silently, please join me in this pledge. We will commit together to uphold these principles of community in Westwood and in our communities beyond. Thank you. Now, would the first row of graduates please stand and begin your approach to the stage? I think that's would the row of graduates. Graduates, we recognize you today for your individual achievements, and we present you as UCLA graduates to your family and friends. Our master's degree recipients, if there are some, will be followed by our bachelor's degree recipients. The graduates will cross our stage, pause for a photo, and then exit the building for just a moment to have a graduate photo taken on the terrace outside before they return to their seats. May our recognition of your accomplishments commence.
Clara Wen. Kathy Nok Hong. Catherine Wu. Yihong Xu. Yunfeng Wang. Yi Zhou. Brian Chapman Wong. Bingjing Xia. Eileen Aguirre.
Thank you all. In the spring of 2020, the Chancellor conferred your degrees, and at this time I want to revisit that moment with an acknowledgement of his words. More than anything, the Chancellor hoped that your experience at UCLA has opened up some windows on the world for you and leaves you yearning to know more. Your experience at UCLA is just the beginning of a life of continuing discovery, and the skills you've acquired here in and outside the classroom will serve you well in this rapidly changing world. When we gathered here today, perhaps your tassel was on the left, which is correct. If it isn't, please take this opportunity to turn your tassel, if you have one, while we listen to UCLA's alma mater, Hail to the Hills of Westwood. are so very proud of you, class of 2020. Graduates, please stand and be acknowledged by your family and friends. Yeah. Great. Okay, please be seated. And guests, please remember that you must remain seated until the graduates have exited Royce Hall. Family and friends, we are grateful that you joined us today and that you have played such important roles in the success of our graduates. I will leave you with the words of John Wooden. Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It's courage that counts. Congratulations again, and go Bruins!